cats. How you doing? I guess we'll call this series Mangaka Convention Assessments, I suppose. And I have two because I remember I went to East Bay Comic Con and I went to SatCon. And East Bay Comic Con was last month, so I didn't get to do that. So I'm gonna do that today. Yes. That was an interesting experience. I went by myself. I took BART to get there. It was all the way in Concord. And I guess my assessment for transportation is know what time your transportation starts and ends, I suppose, because Concord takes about like an hour or so, an hour or two to get from BART. Setting up tables started at around like 8 or 9, and then the convention opened at 10. So I had to, hop on BART like around at least 7, right? So I left the house at 8. No, I left the house at 6, but I found out that BART doesn't open up until 8. So from I guess like 6:30 to 8, I was waiting for the BART station. Maybe if I waited, or if I walked further to a different BART station, it might open earlier. And then I walked further from, I could have just gone home. What I'm basically saying, because the closest one to me is the Civic Center BART station, and yeah, I thought if I walked further that maybe the station ahead of me would have been open, but no, they were all closed until 8. It was a Sunday, so know what time your transportation starts and how long to get there. And also another thing about transportation, know how to get there, like what you need, and maybe possibly who can drive you, maybe like your parent or a friend or whatnot. So figure out beforehand and make sure you make like plan B, C or whatnot, like backup plans. Wise, make sure you have food, because if you're gonna go by yourself, like what I did for the East Bay Comic Con, make sure you eat breakfast if it's an early thing, and most likely it is. And make sure you have snacks or maybe a meal packed for lunch, because you're gonna be by yourself. You won't be able to leave your table, unless magically, like Magickal Mangaka does, gets food from random people and trades for art stuff. Yes, two wonderful, awesome convention people, or I guess convention guests or people like were there. I was talking about, I'm by myself and I can't get food, and they're like, for two of them, right? And then they were thinking about it, and they're like, yes, we will accept this mission. And I was like, oh my gosh, thank you so much. So that was a very magical moment. So food, make sure if you're by yourself, make sure you pack snacks and a meal. And for East Bay Comic Con, the table, the Artist Alley table was $60, and the table's pretty big. It's really long and huge. I think it was like around 8 inches or so, 8 by 3.5 inches, 8 by 4 inches or whatnot. And if you're a beginner artist, or if you don't have that much like product or stuff for your table, then it'll look pretty measly, like what happened to me a bit. It was fun because I was like, oh my gosh, if I had more stuff I could put like tons of stuff on this table, but I didn't. So I only filled like probably half of that width, so like 4 feet. And that's good to start out with. 4-6 feet is the average for like Artist Alley convention tables. Let's see, even smaller sometimes, depending like if it's a university convention, anime convention or whatnot. It's $60 plus like transportation. I didn't really make back my the whole table, and also transportation. I probably made half the table, so like 30, a little bit over, maybe like $40. Assess your table, like the cost of the table, your transportation, food, or whatever else you're gonna do or spend that day, and make sure it's worth it for you. Event size, so the East Bay Comic Con, it actually restarted again, and they had a new location, which was in Concord. it was really packed. Like, you know, I was able to sneak peeks, like, to check out the bigger area where all the other artists and vendors were, because, you know, I made friends. And that's another thing. Make sure you make friends with the people that are around you. So, you know, you're able to use the restroom if you're by yourself, or, you know, if you just want to sneak a peek at the convention. But yeah, the event size was really big, but the downer was that for me and like three other artists, we were in a separate room from all the other artists and vendors. So we were in a really like awkward room that no one really knew about. And it was basically a room for last minute artists, because I think they were able to rent that extra space, and they tried to fill more artists for it. Yeah, it was a good thing because they were able to get more artists, but it was bad because the location wasn't good for the artists. So I guess for my products, I had my postcards, crystal buds, my comic, my manga. And I did packs of my postcards, so it'd be cheaper, or, you know, it'd be a better buy for people that are interested in wanting to, you know, wanting to get your art out there. Yeah, and I think that's all. So for the East Bay Comic Con, pros is that I was able to get 2 new followers, and, you know, I met a lot of good people, and, you know, I got myself out there. And instead of cons, I would say things that I could better myself with. But I take the cons as not like negative, I take them as learning experiences. So from those experiences, like figuring out that the cost of the table and the transportation were, you know, with the products that I had, was not really the best choice that I made. But it was something that, you know, now I realized because I'd done it. And yeah, so it's good to, you know, assess yourself and analyze and see what could you do for the next one. Like, you know, what can you do better for the next convention. So yeah, East Bay Comic Con Mangaka Convention Assessment. That's pretty long, but yes, we're going with that.